Once again, I'm Brother Talib, who's an assistant of Angel Snup Snup 7, coming from this platform of Reality Temple Ministries on Earth, as well as Operation Exodus Mississippi. Um, it's a topic I want to really touch on, because it's important that this subject that I got, which is titled in this video, why I feel sorry every time black people get shot by police. I just want to say this here. For those of you who are listening in the comment section, or whether you're listening on YouTube or on Facebook, it's like this here. And I know many of you is going to disagree. I know especially those of you that's coming from the pro-black or pro-blackity black construct way of thinking, I know you're going to probably call me all kind of Uncle Toms and crazy coon niggas and all this other stuff. But you know what? I'm going to just say this. After all that said and done or whatever, it don't negate the facts that I'm about to speak on in this video. So if you want to argue, go argue with the facts, because the truth don't need no support to stand on its own. So, for that being said, once again, I'm Brother Talib, who's coming from the Operation Exodus Mississippi platform, in which I'm an assistant to Brother Angel Snup Snup 7, aka Taalik, Ibn'rad, and like I said before, since we've been hearing about these spontaneous killings that's been taking place for the past decade, over the past decades, with, black people getting killed around America, throughout different cities and towns and states across the United States. Whether we want to go as far, just as far back to Sean Bell, or the beating, the brutal beating that took place back in 1991. When Rodney King was brutalized by 50 police officers, and stuff. I mean, we could even go back further than that, but the point is that, when you think about people like, let's say, Eric Garner, who was killed just because he was selling some loose cigarettes. I mean, come on, for real. Even though they were illegal cigarettes he was selling, illegally, rather to say, in the manner that he was selling them, that did not call for his untimely death to come about. When the police just outrightly just choked him to death for no reason over selling some damn loose cigarettes, when they should be killing these child molesters, child pedophiles, these real criminals out here. You know what I'm saying? That got everybody in the black community fearing for their life every day. Like the elderly, like the babies. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I'm saying this is because, first of all, it's like this here. You know, I don't have no sympathy for people that molest children. I don't have no sympathy whatsoever for people that do that. It's no justification in it. Can't nothing convince me to even believe that it is, nor to accept that sympathy should be given to people like that. But I'm going to say this here, though, is that, um, as far as I'm concerned, I just want to make it known that, as far as all this, what I'm speaking about is that as far as police killing black people, yes, it's wrong in the way that a lot of our people are dying. Don't get me wrong, because of the way that these killings is taking place under the auspices of a racist construct and a racist tyrannical system called white supremacy, which is responsible for a lot of these killings. But at the same time, the truth be told is that a lot of our people, dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, a lot of us need to be out the way. And if that's one way of getting a lot of niggas out the way, then hey, so be it. Because a lot of these people, black people I'm talking about, in the black community that's dying every day at the hands, whether it's by some racist pig or whether it's by a black police officer, which don't make no difference. A lot of them usually are in the process of being ready to commit a crime against another black person. You ever thought about that? Especially for those of you that is anti-police or that's, anti-black brutality or anti-police when it comes to brutalizing blacks. Have you ever thought about some of these black people that get killed by the police? That will rape and kill your grandmother, your mother, your father, your son, your daughter, for whatever they feel they can get out of them and won't think nothing about it. Some may not even ever see a day in jail over it. Have you ever thought about that? So, like I said, this is why I decided to make this video. Because our people really need to understand this message. That a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, don't really need to exist. Just like a lot of these brothers who ain't paying their child support. Leaving these women with fatherless children, to raise by themselves. What kind of man is that? So, like I said before, hey, the situation is like this here. You know, you could take it whichever way you want, but the truth is the truth. Just like them brothers like that I mentioned, that's not paying their child support. Why even lay up in the bed with a woman and have this kid, and you're not gonna take care of them anyway? So what good are you to these children, especially knowing that you're not good to them? You definitely ain't good to yourself, and you sure as well it's not good to the struggle. You're not even good for the struggle. So, you know, you might as well be locked up. And that's the same thing I say about these criminals among us and our communities that's not good to themselves, let alone anybody else. So, what better off is them than to be dead? Unfortunately, because even if you try to reach out to a lot of them, you know, to try to help them to change their ways, 90% of the time they not gonna listen anyway. You know, it's just like you know, you putting a horse, I mean a bucket of water in front of a horse, and the horse don't go for it, you know. So I mean, you know, like I said before, um, hey, I don't feel sorry for a lot of these people that's out here getting killed by the police, or even let alone being shot by them. I don't feel sorry for a lot of them. Now, like I said, for an example, like I use Eric Garner for an example, which his murder shouldn't have happened, especially with the circumstances surrounding that. Philando Castile, the brother that was shot by that police in Minnesota, he he shouldn't have been killed. And this brother was a law-abiding citizen, everyday working man, well respected by his local community in that part of Minnesota where he was killed at, you know. But here it is. It's another dead brother. For what? And he tried to abide by the rules of the law when he even lawfully told the police that he had a weapon, a concealed weapon on him, and was trying to let the police see that he had a weapon on him. And the police just, you know, pulled the trigger just because he saw it was a darker skinned person in the driver's seat of the car. You know, I mean, but like I said, when you get these other type of characters who get killed by the police, like these wannabe gangsters, thugs, criminals that's terrorizing the black community every day across this country, you know, and like I said, even those, because see, the reason I brought up the pedophiles and the child molesters because, first of all, you know, I noticed throughout the years that child molestation has always been associated only as a crime that's mostly committed by Caucasians. Well, I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of black people in this country that's also committing them type of crimes, whether they male or female, okay? And a lot of them, some have been held accountable, but there's a lot of them who ain't been held accountable either, you know? And like I said before, you know, I mean, if the police was just to kill them, let's say them, with them even being dark skinned, it really wouldn't matter, you know? And I'm pretty sure that I sense enough to understand what I'm saying on this note would not even support a child molester who's been killed by police, whether they black or not. Okay? So like I said before, you know, the whole situation and the bottom line to this is that if we really want to carve out a new existence and a better existence for ourselves as a people from under this oppression of white supremacy, we definitely are going to also have to understand that we cannot have these thugs and criminals standing in our way while we're working toward carving out a better existence for ourselves as a people in this country. Because these criminals don't care nothing about liberation or revolution. all they care about is themselves. Basically, that's all they concerned with. And whatever crimes they could get away with committing against usually nobody else but their own people, which is us. Okay? So like I said before, all this has to be taken in consideration when we looking at this on a whole broad scale. And like I said before, it's time out for the bull crap. There are blacks that are a detriment to their own people as well as society as a whole. Okay? And mainly I'm speaking about towards their own kind because they mean their own kind no good. Like I mentioned, the brothers who ain't paying their child support, the brothers that's committing atrocious crimes, horrible crimes toward their own elderly, toward their own women, their children, and they other fellow, dark-skinned brothers, whether it's killing them because they looked at them the wrong way or because they wearing a different type of color on their clothing or because they wearing their hat turned a certain way. So this other person don't deserve to live, but they still got the audacity to feel like they deserve to live. Well, hey, you know what? Sometimes karma could be something else. But the fact of the matter is, if it came down to a police killing them, hey, like I said, why feel sorry for them? Some of these people deserve to be put out their misery. Just the same way they done to other people. Even that they got away with killing. So like I said before, as a matter of fact, speaking on that too, it was a brother a couple years ago. It was a big thing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where they had a mini riot. Because it was a cop who had shot a brother. And a police officer happened to be a black police. And, he shot a brother because he saw a brother was on his way to committing a crime against another black person. And as he was pursuing this particular brother who at that point was a suspect, he ended up killing him. Then the police officer ended up catching all this flack. And even, I believe, he had to face some type of criminal charges behind it. But I don't know what came of that, nor do I remember. But however, I do know one thing. At the end of the day, I had to even resign to the fact. I had to resign to the fact that, hey, look, this individual that got killed by this police deserved to die. Because he probably was going to kill that other black victim that he was pursuing. And this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. So like I said before, a lot of these people feel like no one else got a right to life. But they could still keep doing the crazy nigga stuff that they doing. And it shouldn't be no repercussions behind it. So like I said before, hey, if police shoot these people, we got to analyze who are they shooting, who did they kill, and why did they kill them before we get out in the streets and go calling ourselves protesting and doing silly stuff like causing crazy riots and starting uproars like they did in Ferguson and in Baltimore, over somebody that could have been, no disrespect to Mike Brown, and no disrespect, to Freddie Gray. But like I said before, hey, it is what it is. A lot of these police killings are involving a lot of our people who was caught up into the criminal element of things. And like I said before, hey, let the pieces fall wherever they may. Because sometimes a lot of these people are better off dead than not dead. And that's just that simple. I mean, yeah, ain't none of us perfect, but it still don't negate the fact that a lot of these people has got our communities under siege. Which at that point, you can't keep just totally pointing the finger at the racists. Especially when we as a community are not willing to come together because of fear to do something about this ourselves. Instead of waiting for others to do something about it, which you see they're not doing effectively to put an end to this madness that's going on among our communities, as far as us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America being concerned. So, with us, who need to come together and do something about it, but it's not, this is going to continue. So, you could continue to expect when you see stuff coming up out of this as a result, such as police killings and shootings. And that's just that simple. There's no other way really that I could put it, So like I said before, to those of you in the YouTube comment section, if you have any comments you want to make about this or what I've said, I wholeheartedly welcome you to. And jot your comments down and I get back with you. And to those of you as well, out there in the rest of YouTube land and in social media land, I appreciate you watching this video. And once again, hey, the truth is the truth. And it's no other way to get around that. Like I said before at the beginning of this video, truth could stand on its own at that point. When it comes to it defending itself. So, if you want to argue, don't argue with me, go argue with the truth. As for that said, I'm already 5,000.